Hi guys, Miss Chris here from the Fountaindale Library. Today we're going to look at drawing and coloring with colored pencils, a cornucopia. Really fun around Thanksgiving time. You see a lot of these fall harvest. It's really simple and you can do it as easy or as complicated as you'd like. I'm going to show you how to sketch it out a little bit. We'll do a little bit of what you can put in there, maybe some corn, maybe some pumpkins, whatever you like. I'll show you a bit on drawing a few of them, and I'd like you guys to just go and have fun with it. Okay? We'll get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a quick sketch. I like to sketch them out before I color them mostly. It gives you an easier way to color. If you can do it straight with your colored pencils, and I've seen a lot of people do it, and it looks very cool. I like to have a little bit of a sketch to see what I'm doing. So we're going to start with our cornucopia. We know that our pumpkin's going to be kind of around here. Now, this is not how our pumpkin's going to end up looking, but I'm sketching it in here to be a placeholder. So that way I know where I want my pumpkin to be. And then we're going to kind of make the front of our cornucopia. Now, it looks a little messy, but that's okay. Some people can sketch in nice, neat straight lines. I tend to be a little messier. But the finished product turns out nice. So, first thing, when you're doing a curve, something that you want to show the depth of the curve, for one thing, the end of our cornucopia is going to be smaller than our front here, and that's how it is. So you want to, we're going to leave about this much space around here for that kind of twisty of the way the cornucopia looks. You can do it however you want to. Then we're going to start about here, and this is where we're going to kind of come down with each of those rows, and that's going to make it look like it has some depth. But in order to know how far we're going, and I might have made them too big already, and then we're going to swoop down this way. It's a little bit bigger. See, I made it a little too big, but that's okay. So each of the little rows, you're going to make that curve, and what that does is also, in your drawing, makes it look curved and not flat or one-dimensional. You'll do the same thing with the front part, that kind of twisty looking. Each of these is going to have that kind of curve to it. Then I like to put, again, a little bit of a placeholder for what I'm going to do. So we've got our pumpkin here. Here's this little. Then we might want our flowers in here. Maybe a couple flowers, a couple sunflowers. Then, again, just rough sketching, because you're going to fill in with your colored pencils, so it does not have to look perfect. In fact, as I've said before, the less perfect, particularly with sunflowers, but with anything, less perfect it looks, I think it's better. It looks more realistic, because how many flowers look perfect in real life? Now, in these drawings, I put little pears because they're just kind of fun to draw. They've got that kind of pear shape, is what they call it, so it's a little wider on the bottom. You can, it's a little bit of shading with your pencil, and then when you color in, that shading is going to still look, and it kind of gives it a little bit of curve. And then in this one, I think I'm going to add another pear right in here. And a bit of shading. Here's a little stem. Your pumpkin, you can add some of that on there, some of the lines lines. Mostly your colored pencils are going to do that, but this will just give you where you're going to put things. You could do some sprigs of wheat. You could even put your sunflowers up here where I'm putting the wheat, whatever you like. Some cattails. And again, light sketching, you're going to fill that in with your colored pencils and then it's going to look good. Although, I always kind of like the look of a rough sketch. It's kind of looks cool. Alright, kind of go back in and make sure your lines. Now, I'm not going to put everything because otherwise you'll get bored with me watching me do all the coloring. But you can add a lot more. Maybe an apple. Oh, the leaves too. So I'm just gonna, I don't know if you've seen how pumpkin and grapes, how the leaves have this kind of twirly to them. And they're kind of like, they're fairly wide leaves. So, almost like little hands. And again, trying not to make it perfect, actually, to my opinion, makes it look a little more realistic. Okay, this is very rough. I know you guys are going to do a better job. Now you're going to use your colored pencils to kind of create that curve to this too. Because I noticed here, as I was drawing, I kind of lost some of my curve. But we're gonna fix that with the colored pencils. See how I did that? It should be a little more curved here. So that's okay. Maybe we'll get an eraser and fix a little bit of that as well. Let me see. Yeah, that's a little better. It takes some time, and don't rush. Take your time. So you use a darker brown. This one, let's see. This one's a dark umber, and then we're gonna start to shade around. We're gonna pull the color in to these and give a little more definition to the curve of our cornucopia. And if you have any lines from the pencil that really don't work, you can always erase those after you've filled in a little bit with your colored pencils. It'll start to really take more shape. See, I'm kind of going to erase a few of these up at the top. Alright, that's a little better. Now, with your pencil too, you want to make a little shading. Make that kind of curve down here too, so you see where the curves are. And up here too. And wherever you think you need a little bit of shading, maybe right in here, and it kind of will give that a little bit of a three-dimensional look to it. Definitely the curve. Maybe a little bit in the middle. It will give that feel. It might not look like it now as we're drawing. Give that kind of curve to it. Maybe not all exactly in the same spot, but generally in the middle. This will be a little darker. This one's a little messier than the one I had as a sample. Now you're going to take a little bit of a lighter brown and come through and fill that in too. And what I forgot to do our little front. So let's do that. Now, not every part of your drawing is going to need to be blended. And actually, I think it was one of these I did not even blend. But if you wanted to blend it a little bit, it gives it a little more. And these are little blenders you can find in the store. They're made with rice paper. You can use a tissue, a paper towel, you can use your finger. With colored pencils, the finger doesn't work quite as well. So I've got this just to kind of show you how it'll blend it a little bit more. It's not a huge difference, but sometimes it can give a little bit more of the look the feel you're looking for, and it can blend those colors a little bit. And again, with trying to make a video, I probably could have gone a little darker on my colors, and then they would blend a little bit nicer, but this just will give you the idea. Same thing for the front of our cornucopia. And just a little blending like that. Just a little bit more. Again, a fast sketch in a video is different than what you're going to do when you're sitting there taking your time. So now we're going to fill in. Let's start with our pumpkin because that's kind of the biggest that we have here. So we're going to take an orange and we'll start with the outline a little bit. This is kind of a red orange. And now I'm not erasing the pencil part of the sketch because I think that's going to give a little darkness to the lines, and I think it's going to look good. If you're really dark with your sketching, you could erase it. It's not necessary, and you'll see once we really color in. I'm going to give our stem a little color so that I don't accidentally totally color it with my orange. And let's see, we do a little bit lighter orange, and that'll blend with that darker that I used there too. Now in this case, I kind of want my pumpkin to look really bright, so I'm gonna color it in pretty dark. And another way to kind of blend is actually with the pencil too. So as you're going along, and see, I'm actually seeing now that my lines from my pencil are a little darker than I really wanted. So I'm gonna see about this other orange, see if I can get rid of some of that. That's interesting. Let's see, sometimes you have or maybe a little red. We'll cover them a little bit. I keep breaking the pencil. That's okay. It still looks good, but it is, so I might have been better off maybe erasing some of those lines, but that's okay. As you're doing yours, if you think they're a little dark, erase them. Now we'll get some green for our pears. Now in this case, I'm kind of glad some of this is a little dark because I want that shading in there, and it'll give a little bit of shading without me having to change the color an awful lot. And there we go. There's our pears look so cute. And we add a little brown for the little stem. Our sunflowers, we can start with, let's start with the inside. They don't have to be perfect. Again, the less perfect they are, the more realistic they look. Add a little yellow. Again, if you feel some of your lines are dark, you can erase them. I'm not bothering because I kind of like the way it looks, but you can do it however you want. And maybe some brighter yellow along with the darker, give it a little, not all the stems. Here's my, if you go a little too hard, you can break your pencils. And that's why we have a pencil sharpener. There we go. Alright, that's looking good. I think that's pretty good. And, wow, I'm breaking all my pencils today. It's because I'm on camera. I usually am not that hard on my pencils. All right, so now maybe a little dark for our cattails. And bring that down. Bring the stems down. A little bit for our wheat. And there. The other thing, our leaves down here. We're going to color in a little green. I kind of like using multiple colors of green for the leaves, because leaves all have different colors. So I'm going to start with this little lighter green, and then I'm going to add a little olive to it. Somewhere. There's my olive. And that, you can also outline your leaf. And it'll bring a little more depth to the color. You can see the veins. Whatever you like. You can even make your leaves, if they're already changing color, that would work as well. And then maybe outline our vine here. Not forgetting to do some of the little twirlies, add a few little curly cues. And the last step would be to color on the inside. Take a dark brown, but maybe not as dark as the outside, just a little lighter. And just fill in the inside of your cornucopia. You can add more. You can add apples and tomatoes and grapes. I did grapes on the sample, and I didn't do them here. But you can add a whole lot here and have a lot of fun with it. You can use whatever materials. We do color pencils today, but you can use watercolors. You can use crayons. You can use markers. You can even just do the sketch. Hope you had a lot of fun, and have fun making your cornucopia.